welcome back to Happily Handmade. I'm Wendy, and today I was going to do the second part of my page that I'd started earlier on in the month in Rita Berman's beautiful, lovely new book. So if you remember, if you've watched the part one's available on channel if you haven't already. I did last time I worked in here. I was working on this little Japanese character that's pretty cute, using my new, ooh, can I pick them up without dropping them all? Using my new Tim Holtz watercolour pencils, just to see what I thought of them on this paper and see how they worked, both wet and dry really. And yeah, they did alright, didn't they? I did use a couple of pencils here and there just to it's the mid-tones really, so they were fine for a dark colour and a light colour, but that kind of mid palette was a little bit tricky, so I did I think I used a Holbein pink just to help blend the pinks together. But overall I'm pretty pleased with how it was. You've got a nice mix of pencil marks and obviously using them wet, and I think I did just finish off with a little bit of just dual hybrid here and there in the bottom of her skirt there and in some of the detail of her dress. So today what I thought, if my camera wants to focus, that's better, because that's not a good look, is it? All blurred. Today what I thought is I'd carry along on the same vein, but I thought what I'd do is for each of the little ladies on this page I'd try a different similar product. So obviously we've done Tim Holtz on there, so I thought, excuse the blur of my light there, I thought we'd try my, open it, that's the answer to that question, isn't it? Then it's not blurring. Ooh, hello, escape, get back in. I thought I'd try today to use just my Neos and see how I manage. I think we'll do this middle lady today, just in the Neos. So yeah, I'm quite fortunate in that I have a small set of Neo 2's that I've had donkey's years. I must have had them 15 years plus. But did I get these this year? I think this year I did go okay. I'm using them a lot more. I kind of like the shades in between. So I do, as you can see, have, I think it's the full set now, isn't it? I think they used to do a much bigger set. I think they used to be 120 of the Neo 2's, because I noticed in my original tin it has a little pamphlet that has the whole colour palette on it, and you can see there's 120 there, which obviously you can't get now. As you can see, I have had a couple of breakages. This light blue I use quite a lot, it's really quite handy. I seem to have lost a piece though, looking at that, don't I? Definitely a lot shorter. At some point that's going to need a replacement. But the rest, as you can see, I've not used, well, some of these I haven't used at all. Looking at them, they've still got the transit wax on the outside, but I thought I'd give it a go and try and work in a, this is going to take up all my desk. Oh, I have to move a few things. Don't mind me while I just reorganise the room. So yeah, I've got them off camera because there's literally no room for all that on my surface here. But yeah, I was thinking I'd have a go with this little girl in the middle. I might put that under there actually, that might be a bit better. So yeah, we'll see how we go. I was fairly pleased with the other ones, so hopefully we'll have a similar effect. I think these will have slightly different issues. Obviously they're a crayon base. That has advantages and disadvantages, doesn't it? I think it's generally a little bit quicker to work with, but getting some finer detail, like obviously I did quite a lot of these nice fine lines in her hair last time with the watercolour pencils, Tim Holtz ones. That's going to be a bit more tricky with something like the Neo colour, so we'll see how we go. It might be a disaster. I am going to sharpen them. It is a bit wasteful. In an ideal world I'd be catching the scrap so that you could maybe make a little palette from it. So this one I'm starting with is bright green. I don't know how well it's picking it up, just about picking it up. And I've got, so this is just an M&R sharpener. I'm wondering whether it'll fit now. I'm looking, no, that's not going to work. What else have I got to hand? Should have thought of this before I started. So, where's my other really nice chunky sharpener gone? Oh, it's there. There it is, hurrah. So I've also got one of these, which I think it came in one of my art subscription boxes. It's just a Stadler one, but it's, yeah, it's quite a heavy chunky little sharpener, so I'm just going to do the green with that and cry while I tip some of the pigment into the pot. There we go. Anyway, so now I've got it much sharper version, and I think I'm going to do this green for her lovely jacket. I've no idea whether this is a good colour choice for Japanese clothing or not, sorry. Oh, that looks like a little wave now I'm looking at it. Oh well. Green's on there, so if it was supposed to be sea, tough. It's not now. It's going to be just this instead. But yeah, this book seems to take a little bit of watercolour quite well, so I didn't have any problems with Tim Holtz. It's not really come through at all. I can kind of feel it a little bit, but it doesn't look crinkled or anything like that, so I'm fairly happy that these will be fine on here as well. I can't think that these will go through if the Distress didn't, so soon find out when these things happen. So yeah, the beauty of using my Neos on here, and obviously because I am quite lucky in that I've got the big set, is that I have got a lot more mid-dark and light colours to choose from. Not so much the end of the world when you're using water with it anyway, because obviously you can thin out the colour to make your lighter tone, but yeah, it does make life a little bit easier, I think, if you're a bit of a control freak like I can be with my colouring. Where else do I want this? In here, I think. I would imagine it'll be a bit quicker with the Neos because they're a quicker lay down than the than any watercolour pencil will be, really, because by nature watercolour pencil's a bit drier, so it's going to take a little bit longer to lay it down, whereas this, I don't have to layer it quite so much. How far up is that going to there? So yeah, this might be a lot quicker than part 1 was. Plus obviously I've used these a bit more, so I'm a bit more familiar with the feel and how they work. I'm just going to ignore these spirals, I think. Might go over those later with the dual hybrids again or something like that, I think, just to bring the lines back. Okay, so what have we got in a light green? So I'm going to say these probably, throw them on the floor, that's what I want to do. So what else have I picked out? I've got yellow green, that one, and lime green, which as you can see are not a bad dark mid-light, although none of these are dark really. I'm just going to sharpen up the mid. Oops, that's left a bit of paper in my sharpener. Let's get rid of that. That'll do, not get rid of very much. Might not use the light, it probably isn't going to need it, but we'll see. Do I want it anywhere else? Maybe a little bit up there. I think I'll leave it there and see how the water gets on. Now, this is when I'm probably not going to talk, because as soon as I've got to use water, then I've got to concentrate. can't talk because controlling water. So, just gone out the lines already. See, there's what not to do straight away. What an idiot. Doesn't surprise me. I'm one of those weekends this weekend, you know, you just knock everything over all the time. My dog actually managed to trip me. Actually, she's always around my feet and a complete trip hazard, but she actually managed to trip me up on a hook the other day. It was literally so embarrassing. Literally one of those where you're just falling all over the road. And I had been just chatting to two nice ladies that also had dogs at the time, and they were like, oh my goodness, are you okay? It was really embarrassing. Fortunately, I didn't actually fall on the floor, but I wasn't far off it, and I did end up in the road, which thankfully where we were is really quiet, so it wasn't the end of the world. It might be better a little bit further in, I'm looking. Will it stay there, my clamp? Maybe. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it's been one of those weeks really for knocking things over. So I'll probably get halfway through this image and then knock my entire pot of water over it, or destroy it in some clumsy, ridiculous way, because yeah, that's the week I've had. The dog wasn't happy that obviously because I tripped over her. In her eyes, I'd kicked her, but she was fine. It was just me that was jumping, falling all over the place. She's such a monster for it though, particularly if you're cooking. She just hangs around under the oven when you're trying to lift things out of the oven. It's not very health and safety friendly. And yeah, we're coming to the end of the month, aren't we? And I'm kind of, oh, how many colourings have I actually managed to get done? It has been tricky this month. It's obviously back to work month for me. The joy that was just being able to colour every day has gone. 5 o'clock alarm in the morning is back on. Oh, I've not missed the 5 o'clock alarm in the morning. I am not a getting up early person. I wish I was, because I think you get a lot more done, don't you, if you naturally wake up early, but I like my sleep. I do like my sleep, and yeah. Ugh. 5 o'clock alarm, no thanks. And then I find myself waking up at that time on Saturday. I'm like, no, I don't wish to wake up at this time. No, thank you. Feeling a bit dry this. Oh, there we are. Neos obviously break down and dissolve really easily, so no issues with that. They're very good at not leaving any kind of mark. You do have to make sure you've broken it down though. It does sometimes take a little bit longer to dissolve than some. You just kind of see the residue here and there. But yeah, it's pretty much okay, I think. I'll just try and take a little pigment out of the middle a little bit. Okay, so I think I'm done with that little bit of green. I think I'm going to do her little fan and just let that green dry a little bit before I try and work inside her body. And maybe some of this flower and a base colour on her hair, I think, is the next stage. So obviously her hair, I'm going to do all the hair black, although this kind of looks more like a hat than hair, doesn't it? But I think I'm going to treat it all as hair. So I'm thinking the hair is going to be a little bit more tricky with the Neos. This is where I foresee more of a problem. So what am I lifting out? I think I've got, let's have a look what these ones are called. Grey, oh, that's not very in focus, is it? Sorry. Grey, light grey and white that I'm lifting out. And I'm just going to sharpen the, because they've all still got the flat ends on. I don't know how well you can see. Yeah, you can just about see. Which obviously for what I'm doing today, that's no use at all. Not really. I'm not super sharpening them, although I do tend to keep my Neos fairly sharp just because of how I use them, really. I like to be able to get into the little edges, and you can buy them loose stock, so I'm not too worried. And my old set have lasted me, oh gosh, so long. I got them to hand. Those are the ones. No, they're the ones. Actually, no, I don't know where my 2's. Oh, bottom of the drawer. So these I've had for, oh gosh, so long. The other set, and as you can see, they're quite a lot, but I've always kept them super sharp. Why it's kind of running out a little bit. This actually, if you want a starter set, this, or I think there's a 40 set. I think this is a really nice set. It's got a good range of colours, quite a lot of nice green, brown tones, good range of blues, purples. There's a little bit of everything in there. So I think this is quite a nice starter set, but I think there is a 40, which I suspect is probably gives you just a little bit more that might be useful. Anyway, I digress. Hair was where we were up to. So I've got some of these, and I probably need a black as well, don't I? Is that the black? Black, yeah. I'll sharpen the black as well, I think. So I've got it done in one go. Okay. Ugh, bits of sharpenings all over me now. Okay, let's have a look. Now, I'm not going to put loads on because I don't feel her hair needs loads really. I think I'm probably going to do like I did with this first one, in that I'll watercolour the hair first, so we've got kind of like a base shaded section of tone on there. We'll wet it, let that dry, and then I'll try and put some hair marks in, probably with the black, I think. She hasn't got hair marks on this side, but I'm going to do it as though she has. I'll have a little bit of the light, I think. Might leave the black until we do the marks. Just put a little bit of something. What's this one? Greyish black. Could do with sharpening, but I'm being lazy now, so I'll go out the lines now. Just it's laziness, and then I regret it later when I don't. Might have survived it. Okay, back in with the water brush. Just get the green off it first. Just cleaning my brush off in between, because obviously I've just put this darker tone right on the edge, which I don't want to pull all the way into the centre of her hairline. Just want to soften the edges of it, so that we keep a little bit of a highlight up there through the middle. Same on the little buns, the cute little buns. Do the dark bit first, clean it off, and then brush it through. And then just with clean water, I'm just cleaning some of the pigment off again. You have to be careful because you can start taking the paper surface off if you do that too much, so you can get away with it once or twice, depending on the paper. This paper will let you do it once or twice. Some won't let you do it at all. So just depends what kind of book you're working in, what kind of paper surface. Otherwise you could start lifting off the top surface of the paper sometimes. Hopefully got a bit of sunlight now. Is that completely right? Oh no, you can still see. I have left my blind open, and I've actually risked leaving my window open today, so No doubt my DIY neighbours will probably start coming sawing something in a minute just to be annoying. Because that's, as soon as I start to film normally, that's what happens. One or other, both sides like seem to like sawing things outside the front of their house as soon as I start to film. It's a special skill. Okay, so I need that to dry. How dry is this now? Oh, the green is actually dry. So I can start working down here in all of these little details. So I want a nice colour for a fan. I'm thinking it might be quite nice to pick some colour up from the lady next to her so that they kind of not match, because I don't want them matching, but that they have a bit of a common element. So I'm thinking maybe I might do a fan in a pink shade, but obviously I do not have my distress colours in my neos. So what have we got? Got a bit of a jump in pinks with neos. Ow, see, clumsy, dropping another thing. So this is what I've got in pinks. Oh, I can't keep hold of them, but this is what I've got. I've got salmon rose, I've got purple, I've got purple violet, and then the last one is that rose? I think it's rose, isn't it? Rose pink. So I think I'm going to have a go with those, although it says it's purple, it looks quite pink to me, so put those ones handy, and I'm just going to sharpen these two. Sorry, should have thought about this, I should have sharpened the whole set, but I didn't, so you'll have to just bear with. Ugh. Okay, so we're a bit sharper. So I'm not going to go mad with the... that's that light a bit annoying now. Let's turn this lamp up a bit to compensate. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of this purple that looks very much like a fuchsia pink to me. And then back in with the rose. Rose or pink, who knows? It's got both on just to confuse me. Where is the English? Oh, the English is last, so maybe it's just pink. Dope. Who knows? It's probably pink, isn't it? So yeah, it definitely hasn't got the same vivid pinks that I have in that distress set. I really do love this pink shade. Is it pickled raspberry? I think it's pickled raspberry, isn't it, from memory, in the distress I used the other week. So yeah, these are not as vivid as you can see, but I still like them. Obviously there's nothing to stop you using these together, really. I could quite easily have used them both. Just thought it'd be quite nice to do each of the little three ladies on this page in a different watercolour medium. So I'm thinking the last one, this lady here, I'm thinking I'll probably do her in my Albert Durers. So for part 3, and yeah, then I've got like 3 little different watercolour products on each one of my little ladies on here. See what I think about them all in one go. I think the obvious thing that was a bit annoying last week was just the crumbling, wasn't it, on the Albert Durers if you watched it. you're trying to lay the colour down. They're very, very crumbly. I don't know why I couldn't say that then. And they did seem to resist layering to a point. They'll layer and then all of a sudden they won't layer anymore, so I think you need quite a light hand with them. Yeah, I think that'll do for my fan. I think I'll probably add some more of that, the darker purple, back in once that's dry. Is her hair dry? Her hair's dry now, so I'm going to go back in with the proper black this time. And we'll see if we can create some hair marks. Oh yeah, it's not too bad. I would imagine I'm going to have to sharpen this quite a lot. Obviously, if I wasn't doing this as a watercolour kind of thing, I'd probably just use a coloured pencil to do this over the top. You don't need to do this in Neos. Still kind of working. It's definitely a bit more crayony looking than the Tim Holtz set did. I have just sharpened it just a tiny bit just to get the point back. It's not too bad though, is it? I know, I think. I suppose I think I'd use a pencil for this bit next time. But just as I'm trying to do it with the Neos, do it with the Neos. Is my fan dry? Yeah, my fan's dry, so we'll go back in. This is the beauty of having the window open, that it does dry a wee bit quicker. Again, probably if I wasn't doing this as a watercolour page, I'd probably do this little bit in a coloured pencil as well, because it's less likely to smudge as much as the Neos might like this, leaving them undiluted, but still looks okay, doesn't it? I am going to cheat, and I've got a luminance white. Just going to knock back the edge of the fan a little bit. Again, I know it's not everybody's choice of things to do, but I'm no lover of great black lines around the edges of things, especially not if I've done them like a subtle pink. But personal choice. Okay, so green. Do I want to layer a bit more shadow into the green? Thinking I might do, but might do it with the next shade of green down. So this is grass green. Hopefully this is not too dark. I'm going to find out. Just to give her a bit more shape. Just add a bit more shadow in. And that's behind her arm, so have to think about what I'm going to do with this background, because there's still quite a few other things on this page, isn't there? There's these nice little things at the bottom that are all going to need to be done, and obviously a bit of background going in. I might just use all of the mediums for the background, I think, when it comes to it. Anything I want to use. Okay, now ideally I would leave this, but as I think you can see, we've got a bit of texture starting to build up a little bit in places. I think it actually looks worse on camera than it is in real life, but I think I will dissolve it a little bit just to smooth it out. Just gently, because I don't really want to move the colour that I've just added. Plus you've got to be careful with the paper, keep wetting it. Can be problematic. Because obviously this isn't watercolour paper, it's not designed to be used like a watercolour paper. Okay. Okay, so we need a face doing. We've got a little flower to do. I'll probably do those in the pinks that we've had, then it matches our little fan. Let's do that. So that was the purple again, and this is the pink again that we've used in the fan. Just in case you didn't watch the last one, this brush that I'm using is just a Arteza one. I think it's a 5-pack that just has this finer points. That, yeah, I quite like these ones. This is my second one of these. Another one I've used a lot. Okay, we've got a couple of little leaves. I wouldn't mind something different to what we've used already. So I'm going to go for this, I think, which is emerald green. Just sharpen it, because those little leaves are tiny. Just sharpening's going everywhere. Lovely. So we've got leaves in front of her green outfit, which is a problem, isn't it? So it's whether to do these in kind of autumnal colours or whether to use, I think I'll just use that green that I've just been using because it's going to go onto the top of the teapot. I'm going to do both of those because I won't remember what colour I've used by the time I do this little teapot. This could be a disaster. Let's see how well it blends. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. It's probably not the ideal colour for this leaf, but as I've kind of used my leafy green on her dress, beggars can't be choosers. Any other leaves? Got this thing in a dress. Oh, no, I think that's it, isn't it? So, is that dry? Yes. Just put a bit of the darker in the centres. I think I did use the red over them last week, didn't I? Which I might try. Let's get a red. Again, sharpened it. I'm literally wearing the sharpness. So what colour is this? Scarlet. So just to warm the pink tone up a bit. Pop a bit in our fan as well. Yeah, they're not the same, but they match a little bit better, don't they now? Now, she's also got another little fan thing tucked in there, hasn't she? And I've not noticed, so let's do that the same. Right, so we've got some trims and some patterns, so we're going to need some different colours. I'm thinking I might use a bit of purple for a change. What have we got? Purple and purpley blue. So I've got a periwinkle blue, and I've got, what is this one called? Sky blue. Although it seems a bit purpley when I'm looking at it, but either way, it's what I'm going for. Oh, this sharpener's just sending stuff everywhere. It's not gone all over there, I don't think, has it? Okay, so, oh, I didn't do inside the little sleeves. Right, we'll come back to that in a minute. I think I'm going to do her little stripes in this. Actually, I'm not sure it needs the blue. That might be enough as it is. Try it, see what it's like when we water it. use the blue for the other line. It's just a slightly different shade. Yeah. I think I'm going to do the inside of a little gown, like it's got a really beautifully, because it's probably a lovely silk lining, isn't it? That's probably what it is, or something like that. So I'll do it as a different colour. And then just got a little trim at the bottom. It's a bit dry. Okay, so getting there. Just got a bit of pattern, got a skin and a little flower. What am I going to do? I think I'll do a little flower and have the same as all our other little details. Back to the purple and pink. Need something in the middle. Let's get a bit of yellow. So this is lemon yellow. I'm going to use a tiny bit of it in there. I'm thinking I might use a bit of it in here. I've got it out. I've started. Why not? Probably could have got away with leaving that yellow dry. Didn't really need wetting, but started. I could do something a little bit darker for the front. Oh, I really wish I'd shot these before we started. Sorry, that one that's a bit darker is golden yellow. Golden yellow. What else have we got? So we've got little tails. They should have been in the purple. use the golden for. And then what to put inside these? I think we'll go with the little blue. If they want. Again, you probably can leave these undiluted, undissolved even. You don't necessarily have to dissolve them. Just smooths out the waxy texture a little bit, I think, by dissolving them. Okay, so I need something for the middle of a little bit of a fan. I might just do a golden in there, you know, like it's a little golden clasp. And something for the little stick of a fan. I just want it light brown, that's this will do. Sorry, another one to sharpen. I'll make sure all the jewelries are sharpened for next time. So this one is raw sienna. That's just a little bit for her stick on her fan, handle even. Now, have I got something I can use for a skin colour? I did this skin with luminance last week because there really wasn't a skin colour in the Distress palette, but these do obviously have some skin, well, something skinish, flesh and salmon. It could be fish coloured, lovely. We'll go with fish coloured. Just let me sharpen them both. I might regret these skin choices, but we'll see. Ugh, could be, yeah, it is a bit pinky, isn't it? But started, so we'll finish. I must be honest, I don't do skin with watercolour very often. And then we'll swap to flesh. I might regret this choice, but we'll... Oh, watercolour skin. Could be a mess. I'm going to cheat and just blend out the lighter the colours I've put on first, I think. Because I don't want this very pinky colour going too far. It's not too bad, it's not too bad. I think I might just use a little bit off the, to put in our little cheeks. Oh, it's still wet. maybe even a little bit of the pink that we had out earlier. It's not too bad, is it? Yay, it's not a total disaster. My hand's obviously on the fold of a knuckle, so I want to try and keep a little bit of a highlight there, because it's the upraised part. Just pulling the lighter stuff. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much all the little sections got the colour on it. I've totally lost, oh, my lid's gone underneath, sorry, the lid for my pen. So, no, that's not what I want. What I do want to just do is just knock back a little bit of the lines. Do have to be careful here, because if you're going outside the lines, you're putting a wax on the page, you can't see it, but if I'm going to do a wash on here later, then you'll see it, because it won't, it'll resist any of the watercolour you put over the top, so you do have to be careful if you're going to do this before you've done the background. I quite often tend to do backgrounds first, so that wouldn't bother me so much normally, but because I haven't yet done the background, I'm going to be very careful going out of my little Japanese lady's figure. Just bringing the highlight back a little bit with the pencil. Could do it with pen, but if I can manage to do it with the pencil, I'd rather, because it's a little bit more. Sometimes the paint can be a bit in your face, can't it, when you're trying to add a highlight. Okay. Let's do the sharpen. Oh, a bit of sun. How weird, it's really dark sky, but just a bit of bright sun trying to get through. Looks like it's going to chuck it down. But the sun's fighting back. Oh, ouch. See, heavy-handed. Heavy-handed or sharpening it too thin, one of the two. Okay, so I think we just want a bit of metallic. Ow, dropping them. So, what do I want? Get a bit of sparkly things out, I think. Green we've had, haven't we? Yellow. So maybe a bit of orange. Red. Maybe some plain gold. Have I got that? Yeah. Okay, so you can kind of see I've got a selection of Signo, sparkling, what they're called, yeah, sparkling, and I've got these in a few colours, gold, green, is it orange or bronze? I can never remember. Yeah, it's orange. Orange, red. I've got the metallic version that's not sparkling, that's pink. I've got the silver, and then a dual hybrid. What's this one? Light pink, metallic green and gold. What a mix. And then a plain Signo gold. That just to give her a little bit of something. So I think I'm going to do these little spirals that we kind of lost a little bit earlier in the gold. I need to scribble it on something. Also might need my glasses. Excuse me a sec. There we go. Look, I can see. Never sure about these lines. Sometimes I go over them and I think I really wish I hadn't gone over them. They were fine as they were before. Now you spoiled them. But I just can't help myself. I just don't want to leave it black. This pen is not loving going over the nails. I suppose I just wanted a bit of gold on this because these kind of clothing would normally be embroidered, would they? And it's normally always gold, isn't it? That's embroidered onto these things. Would help if my pen would stop not working. That would be. Yeah, definitely is not enjoying going over the neos. Right, swap to a bit of sparkling. I done with a purple. Oh, I've got a purple in there. Oh, I have. Does it work? Oh, seems to. Okay, so I'm aware I'm faffing now. Faffing about, mauling, adding, but as you can see, she's just started to get a little bit of, just a bit of metallic on her here and there, just for a little bit of highlight. But yeah, I think I'm going to call her done. Obviously, I've still got this young lady here to finish off and a huge amount of background for this page, but that's my second lady in Rita Berman's lovely new Asian book. Hopefully some of that was of interest to you. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.